you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Put your hand down.
Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez Avila, I see you have the title on your video here is Angel Hernandez. Is that the way you are commonly known?
Yes, sir.
It's not Hernandez Avila.
It's just Hernandez, sir.
All right, then I'm going to refer to you as Mr. Angel Hernandez, and for the record,
Yes,
you
sir.
are one and the same person, Angel Hernandez Avila, who was charged with DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. Is that correct?
It is correct, sir.
All right. Now, before we proceed, there's several things that I need to discuss with you. Make sure that you are fully aware that you have particular constitutional rights and protections. I am going to discuss them with you orally. They will be taken down on a official court record taken by Ms. Kayleen Rivera, our court reporter. First of all, you have a constitutional right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions, and you don't have to submit paperwork that has your signature. In particular, any papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have that right?
I understand, sir.
You have the right to a jury trial. That's 6 people that would be selected between you and your attorney and the state of Texas from a random jury panel. 6 could hear the evidence and decide whether you're guilty or not. You understand you have that right.
I understand, sir.
You also have the right to confront witnesses. That, big words, meaning you would have the right to question or challenge anyone that would testify if you went to trial. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
All right. Also, there's a right called the right to appeal. That right is exercised by you, by yourself, or by your attorney by himself, or the two of you together. You could demand that a higher court review the official record in this matter and the evidence, and for whatever challenge you wanted to make. You'd have to follow rules and the right forms, etc. But that's basically what it is to say the right to in reference to what the right of appeal is. Now, there's also a right called the right to a public trial or hearing. That's done, it calls for it to be done in the public courtroom. Now, because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing public courtroom hearings. We're doing them by video conference, but that's if you agree to that. Both you, the defendant, and the state have the right to do that. That is to have a public hearing in a open public courtroom. Now, those 5 rights that I've just talked to you about, if you proceed with a plea, you are giving up those 5 rights. Do you understand? They're very important rights.
Yes, sir. I understand.
And that's part of this procedure that you're giving up those 5 rights. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is correct.
Now, I'm going to review with you particular documents that are involved in this matter. The first one I'm showing you, by the way, to start off with, all of them, with one exception, will have the basic, what I call identifying information. They will have, as you see here at the top, the cause number 630-679, the state of Texas versus Angel R. Hernandez Avila, which is officially what it is,
Yes, sir.
in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. This particular document, this one is, as you can see, states consent to video conference.
Yes, sir.
They are agreeing to waive the right to the public hearing in the public open courtroom. That is their document. You'll notice it is signed by Ms. Caitlin Morgan. She is the assistant district attorney that signed that. Do you see and understand that document?
Yes, sir. I see it and I understand it, sir.
Okay. The second document is called discovery acknowledgement. That particular one, if you notice, again, it has the identifying information at the top. Then it has a declaration that abides by what's called the Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. That talks about a law that the state of Texas has that requires the state's prosecutors, the state's attorneys, to provide to you and your attorney access to all of the information, documents, papers, reports, videos, whatever is involved in your case that is in the way of information and evidence that is important for you to be able to make an informed and intelligent decision. That is signed by your attorney and the state's attorney, indicating that that law has been followed. Do you see that?
Yes, sir, I see it.
By the way, all these documents, did you already review them carefully with your attorney?
Yes, sir, we did.
Very good. Do you have any questions about any of them?
No, sir.
Right, now, the one you're seeing now, this one has the identifying information. It's a repetition. And this one says titled Defendant's Consent to Video Conference. That's your consent. You reviewed this, and apparently it has your signature, and you're agreeing to do this by video conference. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is correct.
By the way, this video conference is being broadcast on YouTube, which means it is a public broadcast. Anyone in the world can tune in and see all of us and yourself in particular. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I understand.
All right, now we have a document with, again, identifying information at the top. This one's titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. If you look at it, it starts off with 3 statements. Did you see these and understand what you're saying?
Yes, sir, I see them.
All right, then the rest of this document is divided up substantially into 15 separate numbered portions or divisions. The very first one talks about what kind of punishment is involved in your particular case. This one says it's got a check mark right at the top that this is a DWI first that is being pursued, and that you're going to be looking at a fine from $0 to $2,000 and jail from 72 hours to 180 days in jail. Did you see and review and understand it?
Yes, sir, I see it and understand it.
Number 2, read that for me. What does that say? You've seen it already, right?
Yes, sir. I understand I have a right to a jury trial, a right to cross-examination of witnesses, and a right to remain silent. I freely and voluntarily waive those rights.
All right. Now, you see the importance of all these rights that we have discussed them already, and now you're seeing them in writing. And
Yes,
these you reviewed with your attorney, and you signed this document, right?
yes, sir, I did.
All right. Now, number 3 talks about mental health. Have you ever had any kind of mental health problems?
No, sir.
Have you ever been given or taken mental health medication?
No, sir.
Okay. Number 4 talks about you're going to enter, what is going to be your plea? I didn't look at the top there. I'm sorry.
No contest. I'm not going to
Okay.
file no charges.
No contest is what you're going to do.
Yes,
And let's look up at the top again. The original charge was DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. You will be entering a plea to nolo contendere, a plea of nolo contendere to DWI, which is a misdemeanor B. It's a reduction. And that means your attorney has succeeded and the state has been cooperative enough that you are not going with the extreme intoxication, 0.15 or higher. Now, nolo contendere, number 4, talks about the fact that you are pleading nolo contendere because you believe it is in your best interest after you've reviewed the information and evidence and discussed it with your attorney. Is that accurate? Is that true?
yes, sir.
Have you ever been involved in any way with a criminal procedure that's called the Sex Offender Registration Program?
No, sir, never.
Good. All right. Other things that are in there include the fact that you are aware that you've made a deal with the state, but as the judge, I have the authority and the responsibility to decide whether I accept that. It is up to me to decide yes or no. Also, I can give you any punishment in the range of punishment, uh, even if I give you a punishment that's higher than what you agreed to, heavier. However, if I reject your deal outright, or if I give you a punishment that's heavier than what you agreed to, then the law allows you to start all over again, because the way that works is you made a deal, and if I bust it, don't accept it, then you're really not making a deal, or you don't have any choice. So you would have the right to start all over. Do you understand that that right exists?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, now where were you born, sir?
I was born in Mexico, but I got my citizenship because of my mom.
Okay, so you are a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
Very good. That will be noted in the documents, in the files. Now, I'm getting some kind of interference here. All right. Now, uh, again, you have reviewed all these documents. Some of it applies to you, or most of it applies to you. There's a couple of things in there that don't. There's the stuff about sex offender, etc. Now, number 15 in particular, this is part of what you've reviewed and you've agreed to. Number 15 says that you have a right for me to have order a risk and needs assessment. And what you're saying is, I want to go ahead and finish this up. I am signing this agreeing that I don't want a risk and needs assessment. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any other questions about this particular document?
No, sir.
All right. Now we're showing you a document again with the identifying information at the top. Court number, your name, and the case number. Then there's a string of boxes that are stacked up vertically. The title of this document is Trial Courts. Hello, you got to back up a little bit, Patty. The title of the document is right there, Trial Court's Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Now, this is a written document where I'm saying to you, hey, because this is a plea bargain, you do not have a right of appeal. That is the fifth little box. It will be checked off, and I will be signing this document. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay. Now, the next document will be, it's titled Application for Judge Ordered Community Supervision Probation. Again, the identifying information at the top. See, this is a separate document. And so we identify it carefully. This one says that is an application. Did you review this carefully with your attorney?
Yes, sir, we did.
Did you know and understand what you're telling me under oath when you signed this document?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay. All right. All of these documents will be part of the record. The next document, and this will be signed by me, by the way. This document now is the only one that doesn't have anything at the top saying your name or whatever, because in fact, this entire document is your personal data sheet. So, for obvious reason, we don't need to repeat the identifying information. This is all about you. Did you put accurate information in here?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. What is Patterson UTI?
It's a drilling company, sir.
All right. Now, you didn't tell me what your income is.
Um, I just started 2 weeks ago, so I still need to check that.
You don't have any idea what you're being paid?
22.50 an hour, sir.
All right. Very good. And you've got the information on your references. All of this stuff is accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Now you're married. You have one dependent. Who are we talking about?
Yes, it's my daughter.
How old is she?
She's 16, sir.
All right. Now, the vehicle you've got is a pickup?
Yes, sir. It's a Chevy 2014 Silverado.
All right. 14. What
Yes,
color
sir.
is it?
It's like a gray.
I
dark
see it.
gray.
I'm sorry. Charcoal gray.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before I go further, let me share this with you real quick. the life your daughter leads or lives depends on the love and caring that you and your wife have been giving her, right?
Yes, sir.
And a very important part of that is your example,
Yes, sir. I understand.
good example and bad example.
Yes, sir.
Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Yes, sir.
When you run around getting arrested for extreme intoxication, that's very, very poor example. Keep
I
that in
understand.
mind.
Yes, sir.
All right, this document here is called plea agreement. It's a little bit different on the identifying information in that it doesn't mention the court, but again, this one is not necessary for me to put that on. You'll notice that the first two boxes are checked on here after the title. It says defendant has been admonished regarding the right to remain silent. See, that's a really crucial one. Then there's a citizenship mark. Defendant is a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
Now, the next following section is titled Defendant's Acknowledgements. That has 5 boxes, and next to each one that's check marked, it says something about your rights, and you reviewed this and you signed this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is correct.
All right, now we got another section, DWI specific allegations. In here, the state has decided to waive or drop the extreme intoxication accusation, which is the 0.15 or higher alcohol. That's really getting polluted when you're doing that. So the state, you have a motion officially?
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive and abandon the extreme intoxication enhancement, and the state also moves to proceed on a DWI first.
Very good. That's also known as DWI misdemeanor B. You had a misdemeanor A that you were looking at. And defense, is there any objection to the motion of the state?
No objection, Judge.
All right. And obviously you also don't, waive the 10-day notice or anything like that?
Correct.
All right. The court grants the motion. So, Mr. Hernandez, you are now dealing officially with a DWI misdemeanor B, also known as misdemeanor first, the DWI.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, scroll please. Oh, sir, to the charge of misdemeanor B, DWI, how do you plead, sir?
No, I'm not gonna contend, sir. I'm not gonna fight the charges.
Which is nolo contendere,
Yes, sir.
also called no contest commonly, okay?
No. Yes, sir.
All right, among the things we're gonna do, I'm ordering you to appear at the offices of the Bexar County Court of Law number 5, okay? You need to go up there and sign any papers that may not be signed by you that need to be signed, and more importantly, you have to have your thumbprint placed on the documents properly. You have to come over here to the hallway behind County Court number 5. There's a hallway, and you'll find it's easy to find the officers. Come in here and tell them you need to put your thumbprint on the papers, and they'll help you.
Okay, sure.
Now, I accept your plea of nolo contendere, and I find you guilty. You're sentenced to 180 days, Bexar County Jail. It's probated or suspended for a term of 6 months. You will pay a fine of $250. You will perform 24 hours of community service restitution. As part of the conditions, you will, in good faith, enroll in and complete the DWI education program. You will submit to a TAP evaluation and follow the recommendations. For 3 months, you'll have an ignition interlock device placed on your vehicle. During that time, you're to drive no other vehicle except your Silverado with the ignition interlock on it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
All right.
Judge,
Yes.
if I may, can Can we kindly request that Mr. Hernandez be allowed to reside in Hidalgo County and Eddy County, but report to Bexar County via Zoom?
Which counties?
Hidalgo and
Uh-huh.
Eddy, EDDY County. Because of his
Eddy.
job, yes. Because of his job, he works 2 weeks on in Eddy County, but then he comes back to Hidalgo County and resides over here for
Okay,
2 weeks.
that's down on the border. Okay, no problem. The court authorizes you to live in those two counties for purposes of your living and your employment. You're not to move or live anywhere else other than as mentioned, unless you obtain permission from the court. Is
Sure.
that understood?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge, I don't mean to interrupt, but since that is going to be part of the condition, can we also add report via Zoom to Bexar County?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are to report to Bexar County in accordance with the directions of the probation office by Zoom.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, let me remind you of something. Probation is a written, legal, binding contract between you and this court. That
Yes.
contract, I will allow you not to go to jail for that 6 months only as long as you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision. You violate those conditions, the state can ask me to bring you in for a hearing after official notice. And at that time, if the evidence supports it, I can revoke your probation and send you to jail. Is that clear?
It is clear, sir.
I don't want to do that, but I can and I will if you violate your conditions.
I understand, sir.
That means you lose one hellaciously good job too. All right. Your supervisory fee will be $60 a month. Anything else, Ms. Morgan,
No, Your Honor, nothing from the state.
Mr. Maldonado,
No, Your Honor, nothing from the defense.
and Mr. Hernandez?
Nothing, sir. Everything's
All
here.
right. All right, then. You and your family, all of you, be blessed, be well, and be safe. Mr. Maldonado, you're excused unless you have